Hey guys, we are going to continue looking at adverbs that compare to actions. So our goals for today are I can form and use comparative adverbs. I can use comparative adverbs correctly in speaking and writing. So how will I be successful? I will identify the verb, the action in the sentence. I will identify the noun in the sentence. I will ask myself how, when, or where did the noun do the action. Then I will identify the adverb in the sentence. And finally, I will add er to the end or more to the beginning of the adverbs. So I have a short video for us to watch.
The simplest sentences have just a subject and a verb. Verbs tell you the action. What did Jane do? Jane sang. But what if you want to know if Jane was a good singer? That's when you use an adverb. Jane sang beautifully. Jane sang terribly. How well she sang is important information conveyed only by the adverb. We say the adverb modifies the verb in these examples. In this way, an adverb adds more information, usually about time, often, rarely, yesterday, manner, well, reluctantly, quickly, or place. Here, there, and everywhere. When adverbs modify verbs, they can appear before or after the verb. The dog loudly ate. The dog ate loudly. Usually one way will sound better than the other, but both are correct. Adverbs can also be used to modify adjectives, but in that case, they appear in front of the adjective. Mr. Rochester is rather unpleasant. Here, unpleasant is an adjective, and rather tells you a little bit more about how unpleasant he is. Is he extremely unpleasant? No, but he's rather unpleasant. Adverbs can even modify other adverbs. He thinks very highly of her. Highly is an adverb. It tells you what he thinks about her. And how highly? Very highly. Here, very is an adverb that modifies highly, another adverb. Many adverbs end in ly, especially the adverbs derived from adjectives. Quick becomes quickly. Clever becomes cleverly. Gentle becomes gently. But there are lots of adverbs that don't end in ly. Now, never, there, close, deep, very, well, and so on. The way to identify an adverb is to see that it's modifying a verb, adverb, or adjective. Don't be alarmed if you find a word that can act like both an adverb and an adjective. The fast horse jumped over the fence. The boy ran fast. In the first sentence, fast modifies a noun, horse, so it's acting as an adjective. But in the second sentence, fast modifies the verb ran, so it's acting as an adverb. Same word. It's all about the context.
All right, so remember, adverbs are words used to describe a verb. We can compare two actions by using comparative verbs. Add er to one-syllable adverbs to show comparison. Ella's flashlight shined brighter than the dining room light. The verb is shined, and the noun is flashlight. So we're asking, how did the flashlight shine? It shined brighter because we're comparing it to the dining room light. If the adverb ends with an E, we're going to drop the E before adding ER. So the dog is larger than the cat. Is the verb. We are looking at the noun dog, and we're describing the dog as large, but we're comparing it to the cat, so we have to add the ER. We drop the E and add ER. Adverbs are words that describe verbs, and we can compare two actions by using comparative adverbs. We use more before adverbs that end in ly. Reagan skates more slowly than Tanner. So the verb is the verb is skates. The noun is Reagan. So we're asking ourselves, how does Reagan skate? He skates slowly, but we're comparing Reagan to Tanner, and we're going to say more slowly. Use more before adverbs that end in ly. Linda hammered more quietly than her brother. The verb is hammered, and Linda is the noun, and she hammers quietly, but we are looking at how she hammers compared to how her brother hammers. So we're going to say more quietly. All right, so we are going to determine the correct form of the adverb in the parentheses to complete the sentence. Jack hit the golf ball hard than Sally. Which adverb are we going to use to complete it? You should have said harder. Jack hit the golf ball harder than Sally. Hard is a single or a one syllable word, and we are comparing the two, so we are going to add er to make it harder. Number 2, Jared slept late than Josh did. So the verb is slept, and the noun is Jared. How did Jared sleep compared to how Josh slept? We're going to say later. Dylan waited patiently than Sam for his turn at the arcade game. You should have said more patiently. Waited is the verb, and we're describing how Dylan waited as patiently, but we're also comparing it to how Sam waited. So we would say more patiently. Number 4, Molly painted the edges of the wall perfectly than I did. How are you going to fix the sentence? You should have said more perfectly. So the verb is painted. The noun is Molly. So Molly painted perfectly, but then it adds than I did. So I'm comparing how Molly painted and how I painted. So we're going to say more perfectly. All right, we have our paragraph, soccer practice. Pilar and I both love soccer. We play almost every day at recess. On the weekends, we meet at the park to practice. The first thing we do is warm up. We start out jogging around the field, and then for the last few laps, we run faster. Then we work on our kicking and passing. Last week, Pilar kicked a ball so high it went over the goal. Sometimes, if there are other kids at the park, we all play soccer together. Pilar and I are happy when Julia is at the park. Pilar and I are good at soccer, but we think Julia is the better. Playing with Julia helps us learn new things. So, we are going to look at sentence number 7. Last week, Pilar kicked a ball so high it went over the goal. And we're looking at, do we need to change high to higher, change high to highest, change high to most high, or no change is needed? You should have said no change is needed. We're going to leave this sentence how it is. Last week, Pilar kicked a ball so high it went over the goal. So kicked is the verb. Pilar is the noun. So we have to ask, where did she kick the ball? We would be saying so high. So is used to is the out of is so is the adverb that modifies high as well. All right, so remember, adverbs are words used to describe a verb. We can compare two actions by using comparative adverbs. Add er to one syllable adverbs to show comparison. If the adverb ends with E, drop the E before adding ER. And we use more before adverbs that end in ly.